Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're diving into a tool that pretty much every single cybersecurity pro on the planet recommends, the password manager. In this explainer, we're going to unpack the architecture of trust, specifically exactly how these password managers secure your digital vaults.
Right out of the gate, we've got to address the elephant in the room, right? I mean, if a password manager literally stores all of your passwords in one single place, doesn't that make it the ultimate target for hackers? It's that classic anxiety of putting all your eggs in one basket. You might be wondering, if someone breaches the password manager company, are they basically just handing over the master keys to your entire digital life? It definitely feels like a massive risk, like setting up the perfect digital heist.
But to really get why we absolutely need these systems, we have to look at the reality of modern cybersecurity. Experts constantly tell us, never reuse your passwords. You need a long, completely unique password for every single account. But just think about your own online life for a second. You've got your Gmail and email providers, your online banking, your Amazon and e-commerce platforms, and then there's Netflix, government portals, GitHub, work accounts, the list just goes on and on. Expecting the human brain to remember a completely different 20-character password for each and every one of these, that's an impossible memory task. You simply cannot do it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Part 1, unlocking the digital vault and the cryptography behind the safe.
So instead of writing your passwords on sticky notes or doing that terrible thing where you reuse the same password everywhere, you install a password manager. Now you only have to remember one thing, your master password. But here is where a lot of folks actually get it wrong. Your master password is just the starting point, it's not the encryption key itself. The password manager doesn't just take your master password and shove it into some database. Instead, it uses that password to mathematically derive the actual cryptographic key that protects your vault. This process, called password-based key derivation, basically beefs up your password before it's ever used for anything cryptographic. So this derived key, that becomes the true lock-in key for your vault.
So what actually happens when you click Save Password? Well, this incredible sequence of events kicks off in literally fractions of a second. First off, the password manager generates a ridiculously strong, completely random password for that specific website. Second, it derives your cryptographic keys from your master password, like we just talked about. Third, it uses symmetric encryption to lock this brand new record straight into your vault. And finally, it synchronizes that encrypted vault across all your devices. And the crazy part? All of this happens instantly, right there on your device before it ever even touches the cloud.
And this brilliantly illustrates what we mean. A generated password is a long, totally random string of characters, like this one right here. I mean, good luck trying to remember that. But hey, that is perfectly fine because you don't have to. That password exists in this readable form for just a brief, fleeting moment while it's being created. Once it's saved, boom, it's locked inside the encrypted vault. The next time you visit that site, the password manager simply decrypts that single entry and fills it in for you automatically.
Which brings us to the next phase of our explainer, Part 2, the zero-knowledge cloud, storing safes in a warehouse.
Now, if you want to get to your passwords on your laptop, your phone, and your tablet, that vault needs to be stored somewhere accessible, right? Usually that's on a company's cloud server. Think of this server like a massive, highly secure warehouse storing thousands of locked safes. This right here is what we call a zero-knowledge architecture. The service provider, the warehouse owner in our little analogy, well, they can store your safe, they can move it around, they can back it up, but because they literally do not possess your master password or your derived key, they absolutely cannot open it. The company itself has zero way to read your stored passwords.
Moving on to Part 3, surviving a data breach, the heist simulation. Because these centralized servers are holding millions of encrypted vaults, they're obviously massive targets for hackers worldwide. So we have to circle back to that terrifying question. If the company gets hacked, are all my passwords automatically exposed? I mean, it's the ultimate nightmare, isn't it? A hacker breaches the perimeter, smashes through the firewalls, and downloads the entire database of user vaults.
Well, the answer is not necessarily. As cybersecurity experts are quick to point out, attackers might totally get their hands on your encrypted vault, but they still need to successfully recover your master password to actually decrypt it. If a hacker steals the vault from the company's servers, all they really stole is scrambled encrypted data. Without your master password to generate that derived key, the file is entirely useless to them. They can't just double-click it and suddenly see your bank passwords. No way.
And this fundamentally changes how we need to think about risk. We have this huge myth that putting all your passwords in one manager is just way too risky. But the mathematical reality, it's a whole different story. Using one strong encrypted vault,
protected by a unique master password, is far, far safer than reusing the same password across a bunch of different websites. Think about it. If you reuse passwords and just one random low-security website gets breached, attackers can instantly compromise your high-security accounts everywhere else. A password manager completely eliminates that massive cascading single point of failure.
So that takes us to part 4, the real weakness, the human flaw.
So, the crucial point is this. If the math behind symmetric encryption and zero-knowledge architectures is basically unbreakable without the key, where does the whole system actually break down? Well, since modern password managers encrypt everything so well, attackers don't even waste their time trying to break the math anymore. They target you. They go after weak master passwords that they can easily guess. They build sneaky phishing websites that perfectly mimic your password manager. They'll try to sneak malware or keyloggers onto your device to literally record your keystrokes before the encryption even has a chance to happen. Or they'll just use social engineering to trick you into handing over your credentials. Honestly, breaking modern encryption is incredibly difficult, but tricking a human, unfortunately, that's a whole lot easier.
Which leaves us with this final, really critical thought to ponder. Strong cryptography protects the vault, but how secure is the human holding the key? The next time your password manager magically autofills a login on your screen, just take a second to appreciate the massive, silent cryptographic system working behind the scenes to keep you safe. The math provides the foundation for sure, but your own digital hygiene? That's what completes the design. Protect your master key, folks. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Next time, we're going to keep this momentum going as we explore exactly how cloud storage services securely encrypt your personal files while still letting you instantly access them from anywhere in the world. You are absolutely not going to want to miss it. See you then.